Hi, it's Karis, and this is my Module 10 Padlet discussion video. So, the first thing that I wanted to start with is the first question, obviously, and it's about the family of origin. And the strategy I picked was family funding and managing finances. I chose this because I feel like growing up, my family, specifically my parents, did a really good job of managing finances, especially with all the crazy sports that me and my two younger sisters were in. I did gymnastics for 17 years, and then my middle sister did gymnastics for a few years and then did dance team for 5 years. And then my youngest sister did gymnastics for like less than a year. And then now she does horseback riding and she did swimming. Those are all very expensive sports, and my parents just did a wonderful job of managing finances so that we were able to do them, which is such a blessing. And I also feel like they still made a way for us to do family things together and have fun, even with the lack of time we had. But also, I do remember times where my mom had to work along with my dad, because my dad, he's worked since I've been born, just like full-time job all the time, every day, except for the weekends, obviously. But there were times when my mom went back to work, and we never had like the family standard of like, oh, the man of the house has to be the one working. But my mom just enjoys being a stay-at-home mom. But she worked a little bit when my middle sister was kind of newly born, and then she was a stay-at-home mom all the way until a few years after my youngest sister was born, and we had moved to Texas from Nebraska. And now she is a kindergarten teacher, which is what she did but when she was fresh out of college. So she enjoys it. And my dad works at his job. He works from home now, which is really convenient for my family. But yeah, that's how my family managed finances, and that's the strategies we use. Okay, and so for then the second question on food insecurity in America, or just in general, sorry, in my counties. For Tuscaloosa County, the average meal cost is $4, and in Texas, Harris County, it is $3.30. I'm not too surprised that Texas is lower, only because I feel like a lot of things, like economy-wise, are lower in Texas specifically. I'm not sure why, like especially Texas and Oklahoma, it's kind of just always been like that. And then the food security versus the insecurity rating, honestly, to see that, although I'm not surprised that the Texas number is bigger and the Tuscaloosa County number is smaller, it's still kind of sad, because even with such a low percentage rating for both, which is 16% for Tuscaloosa County on the security rate, and then 18.2% for Texas, it just shows that there's still very big numbers when it comes to food insecurity, and shows how many families are struggling with being secure and knowing that they're going to have food on the table every day. And it's honestly just really sad, and shows how messed up our economy is when it comes to social classes. And so I really wish things would get better and change, that where people didn't have to worry about that. But food insecurity population in Tuscaloosa is $37,430. People. And even though it's a small college town, that is still a lot of mouths that do not feel like they're securely being fed. And so that is really sad. And then in the Harris County in Texas, it is 863,820 people population-wise, and that is really sad as well. Honestly, Texas is always growing. It's a melting pot. I'm from there, I know. There's new people every single week, and it just gets bigger, and more houses are filling up. And so whether you're in a college town with little to no funds, or in Texas with, same difference or a good amount of money, but the economy is just hard to keep up with, it's a lot. And I just wish the economy just was better. and easier for people to feel like they could have food on the table without having to worry about it as much. And then for the last thing in the depression video, a few things stuck out to me. The first thing was when she said, for some of you all, of the steps and skills that go into care tasks run on autopilot, but for millions of people, the autopilot is broken. As someone with ADHD, I honestly felt that. I feel like it's so easy to compare my neurodivergent brain to a normal brain or a normal functioning brain. And I just felt seen when she said that. And I also really liked when she said care tasks are morally neutral. And then when she said it's not about morality, it's about functionality. And then I said, what do I need to do to function for myself? And I said what I can do versus what I can't. And I'm going to be using those as positive affirmations moving forward. And I feel like everyone should, because it's so easy to make comparisons between your life and someone else's life. And also to just feel like you're unsuccessful or a failure because you're not getting things done the way you want to, when you want to. And as someone who struggles with getting things done that I want to get done, think about how hard it is to get things done that you don't want to do. It almost feels like a burden, and you really have to dig deep and get those things done to feel successful. So those are the things I found interesting, and yeah, that's the rest of my video.